So when I set up for a songwriting session, I'm normally bringing either some instruments or some things that I'm really comfortable with, that I know that I can just pick up and sit down at, or whatever that just takes me into my kind of place. Sometimes I've got like a couple of synths that I might take with me, that I know I can get my head around or something like that. I bring kind of a minimal amount of gear and just kind of, I don't really prepare musically. I come in with like a bit of an idea of maybe what I want to achieve, or might have heard something, but other than that, I'm pretty open and really happy just to like learn from the other people I'm meeting that day and just kind of go wherever. Yeah. My favourite synth, or my favourite piece of gear that I've bought and that I use, is my Prophet-6 synthesizer, which is I bought it a couple of years ago, and I went and tried it in this showroom in London, and I'd read all about it before and knew that I wanted it, but when I tried it, and within like 20 seconds I turned around to the guy, I was like, oh, I'd take it. Like it just does everything I need it to and ever could want it to do. So I take that with me. I was going to bring it today, but I didn't need to, because the engineer texted me and was like, we've got a grand piano set up, a Rhodes, an upright, and I was like, probably no need to really bring the synth. So otherwise I would have done. Yeah, it's like a comfort blanket. As a songwriter and a producer, I think I struggled to begin with how to split the two things in a session, in that I'd sometimes be the person that would kind of put the headphones on and really go in on the production and almost blank out of the writing after we'd got to a certain point of it. And I think also I just felt that my role was, I was in the room to be the guy that could kind of help arrange the song and come up with the music and kind of piece the bigger picture together rather than the finer details. I didn't realise that there was really a place for me and my like musical opinions or lyrics or things like that, because I think I thought that I was only good at doing the production or the music thing, and it took me, I think, just like starting to like speak up a little bit in sessions to figure out that, I mean, I come from a musical background, so just writing chords or arranging a song is kind of only using a part of what I think I can do. And, you know, I'm able to come up with melodies and like help people with lyrics and things like that. But it's a confidence thing, I think, of feeling like when there's people that are specifically great lyricists or specifically great melody writers and they're coming to work with me, it almost feels blasphemous to try and impart my opinion on that when they're not necessarily saying that chord's wrong. I mean, but loads of people do. They're just like, the chords don't feel right. They can just feel that it's not right. And it's the same the other way around. I think sometimes I'm just like, that just doesn't feel right. So rather than being the person that's just like, that doesn't feel right, and not giving anything to make it better, just kind of started speaking up. And so now I'm like happy to kind of, I can go and just sit and help someone lyric something, or I can just help them with a melody, or just, I'm happier to be kind of whatever now, as opposed to just thinking I could just do that part. So I don't get as fixated on something as I used to, and I'm happy to kind of go where I need to at the right time. I wish I knew the tricks of how to get a songwriting session going, because I couldn't tell you about the amount of times where we've hit the wall really quickly and there's maybe just not that spark, and everyone has it, and there's nothing you can do about it. Sometimes you could be from two completely different musical places, and just that day you weren't able to find the middle ground, or just one of you was tired, or you just weren't inspired by anything at the moment. It's really hard. Or you could be perfectly matched but not being able to come up with anything. But I wish I knew the tricks of how to get it going, because sometimes it just doesn't. And sometimes you just have to sit back and be like, wow, that really ran away with itself, and we just kind of finished something and I didn't even remember doing it. There's no like quick and fast rule that I know of. I'm sure other people here do. I might ask them. Yep. When you know you're onto something, there's that kind of spoken thing when people start talking more about what you're doing and talking over each other, and all, like people just standing up, or just things get done really quickly when you're all on it. And a song, I had a session a few months ago with Paloma Faith when we'd spent 2 days writing something that was okay, and we had kind of got to the motion of where at the end of the second day, we were finishing it more to make sure that we finished it, as opposed to thinking this was really worth finishing and this was really worth not just maybe leaving for a bit. And then it took one of the other writers to say, please, can we just, before Paloma has to leave, please, can we just try something else really quickly? We've got like 45 minutes. I think there was just that general feeling in the room that we hadn't nailed it. And then in the next 45 minutes, we wrote what then ended up becoming the first single, which was the whole reason why we'd been put in a room together to try and write that song. But we didn't know, but we realised it because we wrote it within 45 minutes, and then Paloma left. And then the vocals that she cut at the end of that day were the vocals that stayed on the single, even though we re-recorded them afterwards. There was just something about the energy of us writing in it, just everything slotting into place, and her vocals just being right, that everyone knew about, and we just got it done quickly. And you kind of were like, wow, that happened really quickly. But you can sit there for ages and not get anywhere. Pop and country music, I think, have a lot in common. Their differences I probably am not aware of at the moment, because I don't listen to a lot of country music, and it's not because I don't like it, it's just because I don't give it the time to enter into my kind of listening thing, and I really should. I have like a really broad amount of things that I listen, and I'd actually say that a lot of the stuff that I write, most of the time I wouldn't say that I listen to music that's similar to that, like personally. I think I take my inspirations and what I listen to in my own time from completely different worlds, and not in an intentional way, just that's where I've kind of come from. So I probably should be listening to country music more to inspire the pop music that I'm writing, because they are really similar, but they do have very big differences as well. Like from a very kind of zoomed out perspective, the complete basics of the song, if I could listen to some of the songs by some of the people that are here today that I've kind of listened to over the last couple of weeks to get an idea of where they come from, they sound like very pure songs. They're very like concise versions of what a song is. Just this is zoomed out, and this is like layman kind of observations of a song. But I think some pop songs, especially at the moment, people are almost striving to be complex and striving to do that thing that catches people's ear, or is doing something that no one else in the room is able to do, or no one else around that they're competing with, for example, is able to do. Whereas some of the country stuff, and it's a big generalization, but some of it just sounds like they've really honed in to make it simple. It's not the word that I mean, but it's like simple is the best way to describe it. It's just like, you know, the songs go where you expect them to go and where you want them to go. I like that about it. That's hard to do. That's really hard to do. Like the amount of songs they must have written that kind of got close to being simple. They must have written so many to get that one that was just like exactly the kind of purest version of that song. Yeah. Bringing people from Nashville over to London, like a few of the people that I've worked with already have said they've never been to the UK, let alone been to London, let alone been to Abbey Road. I mean, I've never worked in Abbey Road before, and even me walking in here is like, this is crazy. Like, even though it's, you know, there's like hordes of tourists outside, and like to everyone, this is like a big place. But just being able to work in here, I think it's bringing something out of people that there's like a real onus on the day that we need to. You're looking in it in a completely different way, and I think that the Nashville people they're making sure that they're bringing what they do here and are showing us what they can do, and almost like working with Wayne today. Me and him, I suppose, are trying to find a middle ground of what we as the UK people are doing. I don't think there's anything like too specific that we're bringing in that's a very obvious like difference between the two of us, but I think, I don't know, it's again like an unspoken thing. They're clearly different writers from a different world that I'm finding it so interesting to sit back and just listen to. Like Randy Houser sat there earlier when I was writing with him. He just picks up his guitar, and the way where his melodies go, and the way the lyrics that he chooses, or just the chords, or the way that he plays, it's just not something that I'm just not used to. I'm not used to someone sat there and doing that around me. So it's like, it's really interesting to hear that and try and play along with him and try and figure out where his head is going and why he's so naturally doing that. Because every day I sit and I write songs, and your hands almost fall in the same positions on keys, or like you sing the same kind of melodies, and it's a completely unnatural thing. So it's great that they're bringing that thing that they do and just being like, right, this is it, and we're being like, cool, this is what we do, and somehow finding some middle ground. My biggest songwriter tip, I'd say, is be as flexible as you can, but also as confident as you can about yourself. Something that I've only realised, in the last couple of years, is that the industry is small, and not a lot of people break through and get the chance. And it's not about being good at what you do is part of it, but knowing that you're good at your kind of world, and that you want to have people wanting to work with you because of what you do. And I think it's really important to know what you do well and really make sure that that's what you do. And don't worry too much about what other people are doing well. If someone's amazing at writing lyrics, but you come up with these melodies that are brilliant, or you can sit there and arrange something really, just hone in on that and get that right, and be the person that people go to for that. Because I think it's better to be someone that people specifically want you for, as opposed to another writer that's in a room that is just able to finish a song with other people. It's great to be the person that people need in the room. So I'd say that.